Okay. Hello, legends. It's been a while since I've gone live, partly because I lost access to some of my accounts, which is why I'm going to be talking about this topic tonight. I have an article that I have written to secure your accounts because there's a couple of things you should do in case this happens. And it does happen quite frequently, and it's really frustrating when it does. Let me just make sure I'm streaming to the right channels. I think I am. Let's just go with that. So it's been a really crazy week. I hope you are all well. If you're new here, my name is Melissa Mitchell. I own a marketing agency. I specialize in organic marketing. If that is a term that is new to you, that means using marketing methods that uh, doesn't use paid marketing. So using every part of the algorithm to attract traffic to your brand, using social media like Google, which is what really social media is about now. I also do have a B2C product, so a business to customer product. So, along with my agency, I also do have, so with my agency, I have obviously a B2B product there, but I also have a B2C product, and that is centered around my own personal brand. And that's more what you see on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, not so much what you see here on LinkedIn. I am multi streaming to different channels tonight, so I may not see all of your comments. I am using StreamYard, which is a third party software. So if I don't get to your comments, that is why. So it has been probably a crazy 10 days. Meta had, and most of you wouldn't even be aware of this, Meta had a global outage, and it set off a whole chain of events, not only with my own accounts, but with a couple of clients' accounts. And I thought I would jump on. And again, I can see that a few people are on, but because I'm using StreamYard, I can't see what channel that is or if you're leaving comments. So I do apologize if you are leaving comments, but I will get to, like, if you are, I can jump on afterwards. Um, it set off a whole chain of events, and it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but if you are running a business or if you're using social media for your business, it is a huge deal. So I've actually written an article which I started last week, and I just haven't had a chance to publish it. So I thought I would just jump on and run through some ways that you can secure your account. It's not so much securing it from it being suspended or disabled. It's sometimes you actually can't help these things. Like, I got caught up in the glitch with my own personal account. Like, yes, I do use it for my business, but when I talk about my personal account, it's for my B2C product, not for my agency. That didn't get caught up in it. But if I didn't have things set up the way that I did, it would have meant that the income that I earned from that would have stopped. I wouldn't have been able to access it in a roundabout way. So I'll explain what I mean from that. And it's just about diversifying things a little bit in your business. Because if you put all your eggs in the one basket and you are relying on that, then the income that you make from that platform will stop. Um, you also can't get into put in a report if if you've only got one admin on that account. It's really, really dicey. So yeah, I have to put these on because I can't read. So I'll explain what I mean by that. And yeah, there's a couple of different things that I really, really recommend that you do. So I will be publishing this on Sunday night, and it will go out on LinkedIn. And even if you're not on LinkedIn, you'll be able to read that because I've got the settings on my LinkedIn account set to public. Anyone on or off LinkedIn can find this article and read it. And just a hot tip, if you do write articles on LinkedIn, make sure you check the SEO settings. You can, when you jump off, you'll find that in the right-hand side corner. So when you get out of your article, make sure you do set that to public because that means people can find you. It's a really good feature of LinkedIn. Just a hot tip, even though that's not what this live is about. It means that you can be, and this is the whole reason why I use articles on LinkedIn, that you can be searchable for your articles on LinkedIn in an evergreen way. So in 2 years, if someone is searching up this topic, they can find me through my article on LinkedIn, even if they're not on LinkedIn. So make sure you use the SEO settings on LinkedIn for the correct reason, and it's an evergreen resource for you. So the first thing that I was going to mention is make sure that you do have an omni channel presence. And what I mean by that is you need to be across multiple different platforms in your business. And I know that's not what people want to hear. Yes, a couple of years ago that didn't matter, but it does matter now, unfortunately. You have to be across different platforms. So I'm going to use my B2C business as an example in this scenario. So as I mentioned, I've got my marketing agency that wasn't caught up in this. My marketing agency brand wasn't caught up in this, but yes, I had clients at my marketing agency that are caught up, and they're still caught up in this global outage. But for my B2C product, to give you an example, I have like digital products that I sell in my business to customer product that we're talking about here. Now, my Facebook page went down. People say, oh, big deal, whatever. But that is a huge source of income. It's a standalone business separate to my agency. So now in that, I not only rely on Facebook, I rely on TikTok, and I rely quite heavily on Pinterest. So when my Facebook account went down, it sucked. And yes, that cost me revenue. But because I also have the brand represented on Pinterest and TikTok as well, it was still being held up by that. Like if I didn't have that omni-channel, meaning multi-channel presence, that brand would have just stopped. So think about that in your own business. If you are just relying, and I have seen this before, if you are just relying on one channel, it's really bad. It's a really bad choice, and I don't recommend it. I've seen this before. This is a long time ago before I had my own business. I was working for another company that had a client that had a business that had quite a big following on Facebook, and they relied heavily on Facebook advertising, and their brand got banned from Facebook. And I'll be honest, it was the company's fault, not the company I worked for. It was the company that it was the business's fault because they were selling replica furniture, and they were literally using images from, like, you can sell replica furniture, but they were using images from the real furniture companies. And I was saying to them, you can't do that. Like, you're going to get banned. Like, you can't do that. And of course, they got banned. So then when they started to open up new accounts, you're going to get banned again. I mean, it was stupid. Like, it was their own fault. But anyway, they got banned. But they were sinking probably $10,000 a month into Facebook advertising, but they were getting return on investment that was, high. So that's what they relied on in the whole business. Overnight, that got banned and it stopped, and the whole business stopped because they didn't have any other platforms. Absolutely stupid from this company to do that and to rely on that. So don't do it. Build up other platforms. Years ago, things were a little bit different, and people would say, look, build up one platform, master one platform. Thank you for the love there. And then move on to another platform. You cannot do that anymore. I'm sorry, but you can't. It's not what people want to hear. And don't listen to people who tell you otherwise. You do need to be across at least 3 different platforms. If you're e-commerce, probably 4 platforms, I would say. Pinterest being one of them, Facebook, Instagram. And look, depending on your brand, TikTok. Like, if you're e-commerce, TikTok, because they've got TikTok Shop. And now what seems to be emerging, and if you are an e-commerce brand, probably Snapchat is getting more popular. Now, if you're not an e-commerce brand, then you might want to look at something like LinkedIn. because it depends if you're more service-based or more B2B, business to business. So the next one is, I can never work out using a mouse, like, is it up or down? I always roll it the wrong way. Next one is using a VPN, so a virtual private network. So you buy these and you install that on your computer or your device. So I have one, and we use it in my agency, but obviously I use it on my personal devices as well. And what this does is, if you're not familiar with what this is this then basically, and I am not a tech person, so I'm probably going to explain this incorrectly. So I might read my notes then. I do have a VPN, but I'm not a tech person. So when managing multiple accounts, especially while working remotely, using a VPN adds an extra layer of protection from cyber threats. So it's like having an invisibility cloak for your internet activity. So it keeps everything private. So your IP address, so it protects that. So if you are at a certain location, it stops people knowing where your location is. But not only that, if you are using virtual assistants that are in a different country, let's say in the Philippines, it is also going to protect the traffic that's coming in from, say, the Philippines. Let's just say the Philippines, for example. So if you're an Australian, you've got a virtual assistant in the Philippines. Now, this is not a security tip. This is an algorithm tip for you. If you are using overseas staff, which is totally okay to do, for your algorithm, you want to be using a VPN. And I'll tell you why. Because if you don't, your algorithm believes that your traffic is in the Philippines or Malaysia or Vietnam or wherever your staff is. And that is really, really bad for your algorithm. So your algorithm is then trying to detect an audience in a country that you don't want to attract. And how you can tell, and I've used overseas staff before, and I can tell if they're not using my VPN because I pick up that account and I'm not looking for it, but I can just tell because I've gone and I've picked up my device and say I've gone into that client's account, or if they've been working on my account, and I'll go to the news feed and it's flooded with the Philippines or Vietnam or wherever your staff is. And I know because the algorithm's changed, it's now trying to show me content from that country. And that's what it does. So do not let anyone touch your accounts if the VPN is not set to your destination. One, for security, but for your algorithm. So that is, as an algorithm hot tip, make sure the VPN location is set to the location where you want to attract people. If not, you're going to ruin your algorithm. Because if you want to attract local, let's say you want to attract people in Melbourne, why would you have someone in Malaysia working on your account and all the traffic's going to Malaysia? You're not going to attract anyone to your account. But for security wise, yes, you should have a VPN. So, and that was just an extra tip there. The next one is manage admin access. So first of all, double check this is probably more for Facebook and LinkedIn accounts. Check who has admin access. Do they still work at your company? First of all, if not, get them off. Quite often I'll go into accounts and I'll see old agencies' staff still on there. Get them off. Old staff members from that company, get them off. Second of all, whoever's got admin access, if they are still current staff, because particularly with Facebook and LinkedIn, it's got to be attached to a personal profile. So make sure those people have two-factor authentication. You'll quite often see this written as 2FA. It has to be set up. Two-factor authentication is where it asks for a code before logging in. So it protects the account. No one can get in unless a text message is sent to that person. So anyone who's got admin access to those business accounts must have two-factor authentication set up on their personal profiles. If they don't, you need to be asking them to do that. So that's the first thing that I check. Anyone who's got admin access to the business pages must have access on their personal Facebook or LinkedIn profiles. Imperative. If they don't, they can get hacked, which means your business accounts can get hacked. 100%. Next, check how many admins are on those business accounts. If there's only one admin on the business account, I at least like to have 3 admins. And the reason being is if you only leave one admin on a business account, that is so dicey, because if that person gets hacked, or even if they leave and they're a crappy person and you can then not get access to that account, what do? You're in trouble. So, and I've seen this before, with a client's account that I took over, but it was in the early days. So I didn't have time to fix this and get on and get extra admins on there. So we took it over and it happened literally straight away. This person had gone overseas and used Wi-Fi on the plane, and they didn't have 2-factor authentication. Their account got hacked. Admin, she was the only admin on her Facebook page, and it went. And we couldn't get in. So her personal profile was fine, but her business account went. And so her business account is still there, but the hackers have got it and we can't get it shut down. And she can't get into it because they booted her off. So make sure there's 2 or 3 admins, because at least if hackers get in, we've got 2 other people that are still admins to quickly try and get in. Because quite often they can't remove you, or sometimes it's impossible, but at least sometimes we've got a fighting chance if there's other admins on there. So that's the next tip. Number 4, get your followers onto an email list. It should always be your priority to get people onto an email list. If you lose your social media accounts, you've always got your email list. None of us own our social media. I know it sucks because we think, oh, it's my page. It's not your page. We don't own it. Zuckerberg owns it. Elon Musk owns Twitter. We don't own it. I know. And we think, oh, we've lost all our photos. No, you never owned them. The minute you upload anything to social media, you don't own it. So you can go and get 1 million followers. You do not own them. So get those people onto an email list. And you do that by using lead magnets, so freebies. So if you go onto my Facebook, I don't do this on LinkedIn. That's a little bit, I usually just promote my agency on LinkedIn. As I said, I've got a B2C, so a business to customer product, which I do promote on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I do use lead magnets on that. I can use lead magnets on LinkedIn. I just don't need to, because I'm doing other kinds of advertising for my agency. But a lead magnet is a cheat sheet. So if you want my top tips on, like for example, and it depends on what kind of audience you're targeting. If I was going on LinkedIn and I wanted to attract business owners, I could do a free cheat sheet. And just to give you an example and think about how you could do it in your business, I could do a free cheat sheet on the top 5 things to look for if you want to engage a marketing agency. Here's a checklist for you. Download here and we'll send it to you free. I'm getting their email address, then I can market to them on email. So it doesn't matter if I lose my account, I've got that email list. If I want to do it on Facebook, I've got lead magnets that are download my free buyer optimization guide. It's a cheat sheet. I've just got one that I've written, which I haven't uploaded it, but I will, which is 650 free hooks to use in your video content creation. People can download that for free. Then they go onto an email list. And then obviously I'm trying to sell them my ebooks and my courses, etc. If you're in fitness, you could give them your top 10 weight loss tips heading into summer. If you're a cook or a chef or, a nutritionist or something, you could give, 7 tips for cooking for Christmas or whatever it is, and they download it. You can create these for free in Canva. You put it into a PDF, And then what you do is the easiest way is to put it into a Google Drive, and then put it into a welcome email. And then you link that. So I know it sounds confusing, but it's really not. You put it into a welcome email and it gets automated out. So basically, it's kind of like a funnel. So then you go and you put that out onto your social media. Hey, if you want my free cheat sheet, my 5 top tips for this, A, B, and C, here's the link. They click the link. It's like a landing page. And it says, grab my free bio optimization here. That's a funnel. It's a sales funnel, but they're not buying anything. They click it. Great. I want that. They put their details in. That triggers an email automation. And then in your email system, you've triggered that when someone subscribes to your email list, the welcome email is just your email that goes out. And you're just storing that lead magnet within the email, which is just stored in your Google Drive. And that's it. It sounds like a lot, but once you set it up, that is on rinse and repeat forever. And you put that onto your social media pages. So that's how you do it. And 100% rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Then in your email system, you're building up your emails and you might email them once a week, once a fortnight with a newsletter and whatever sales sequence you want to do there. But you can't lose that email list. You've got it, but you don't own your social media following. And the way an algorithm works anyway, they don't push your content out to your followers anyway. 70 to 80, sometimes as high as 90% of your content is not pushed out to your followers. That's just the way it is. So learn the algorithm and know that most of your content isn't pushed out to your followers anyway. So get your followers onto an email list. Store your passwords safely using LastPass. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see that. Sorry, because the screen's. I haven't got that on dark mode. It's called LastPass, LAST, Pass, PASS. There's other systems out there. I just use LastPass. I've always used it. And basically what it means is you store your passwords in there. If you are using staff members or VAs, people in your business, you can actually give them access to all of your accounts, even your bank accounts if you want, and they don't actually see your passwords. So what happens is when they go to log in, let me see if I can share my screen actually. I'll show you what it looks like. Share screen. Let's just go. Okay, you're just going to see where I Google, can I make my LinkedIn screen dark? Because I was trying to look up. So I just want to show you. Let's log into something. I just want to log into something that I haven't logged into so you can see what it looks like. All right, so this is MailerLite. So when you log in with LastPass, oh no, I don't want to send a code to that person. Okay, I'll show you. I'm trying to find something so I can show you. What it does is you invite them to the password. It stores in a LastPass account, and then when they log on, and there's other software than LastPass. I just use LastPass. I don't know what the other ones are called, but you could Google it. These 3 dots come up. Yeah. See these 3 dots here? So if I click on that, oh, well, you can't see my password there, so it doesn't matter that you can see my email. All my accounts will come up. Now you it doesn't matter that I don't care that you can see my email, but if I click on that, they can't see your email. Now, if I click on that, I can see it because I've set it up in LastPass that I can see my email. But if you send it to your staff, you can actually select whether they can see your password or not, and you select no. So they can actually log in without seeing your email. So it's really, really cool. So if you need them to work on your social media accounts, say a marketing agency. So if my clients give me their passwords, we can log in without seeing their passwords. If you've got anyone that needs to work in your bank accounts, I mean, obviously your accountant, they all know your bank accounts are working in there. But like if you've got someone in your business that just needs to maybe go in and do something, you don't want them to see your bank accounts, you could even use LastPass for that. You can use it for your anything, absolutely any password, any secure notes that you need. So I use that system. So for your social media, because we're talking about social media, I store all of the passwords in there so that, and then I don't give anyone access. So if my staff are working on any client accounts, they can log in, but they can't see what the password is. So they can't then store it privately, outside of work. So my advice is to you, any of your staff or anyone at work, just use LastPass. They don't need the password then. So it's really, really cool. Or like I said, use something similar. I don't know how I can't think of any other password keepers, but if you just type in LastPass alternative, other things would come up. I like LastPass, but yeah, there'd be other ones out there. I don't pay a lot. I don't know. I don't even know when the last time. I think I pay $50 a year, and I'd have hundreds of passwords in there because of our clients. So you could probably get a free account. I would say. I think most of the times people don't pay anything. I only pay 50, and I've probably got 500 passwords in there. So it costs next to nothing. So honestly, um, and then I think that's it. Yeah, that's all my tips. Definitely do it. When these things happen, it is an absolute nightmare. I do have resources. Actually, one thing I haven't added to that is getting meta verified. Um, Look, it does cost. I know people say, we shouldn't have to pay. Unfortunately, you do. I am verified. I do recommend to my customers to get meta verified. 90% of them aren't. And a couple of them are caught up in this glitch at the moment, which most people don't even know is happening, but it does make it tricky. But hey, it depends on how much you use it for your business. There is a verification on LinkedIn. I believe one day, I really do, and it's predicted that one day everyone is going to have to pay for verification on social media. Um, does that suck? Yeah, probably. But think of it this way. Look, I think social media companies probably do need to be better at controlling who uses it, keep kids safe. There's a lot of, I won't say any of the words because my video will get flagged, but who uses it, the type of people that use it. But how can you do that? And yes, they are making money. Yes, should we have to pay? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, if you are using it for business purposes, then yeah, maybe we should have to pay for it if it protects your account. Like, I don't know, I look at it that way. So I really do think, and it is predicted that everyone will have to pay at some point. Um, and then you can't get on if you don't verify yourself. So when my account went down on Facebook, I don't have the biggest amount of followers. I've got about 21,000 on there, but it is monetized. And there has been times when Facebook have paid me a ton of money um, for my content. And no, I can't retire off it, but I don't mind sharing. There was a period of 4 months there where I got about $25,000 in 4 months from Meta. So I don't mind paying $22 a month to them. I get money from them. So I am going to pay $22 a month. That's my highest payment. So um, I don't get that all the time, but I get a decent amount of money from Meta. So I am going to play by the rules. But there's a lot that social media needs to pick their game up with, but we have to remember people who are complaining, they're using it for their business. They're using it, it's free advertising. You are using it to promote your business. So you got to protect yourself. And then people complain, look, I've got to pay $22. Well, hey, I started paying $22 and my account grew. And then all of a sudden that account turned into 5K a month. So I don't know. I'm not saying everyone gets that, but I did because I worked out what worked. So I'm just saying, like, we just got to be smart with it. There's a lot of crap that's online. I don't like everything about it. I was really annoyed, absolutely furious when my account went down because I'm like, hey, I am playing by the rules and I do pay for Meta and I pay on 2 channels. That's $50 a month. And I'm going to verify my third account. And I've also got other accounts on Meta because I've got other businesses that I promote my products through. You got to look at it that way. You're running a business on there, and this is the way that businesses are going. Where else can you advertise your business? So if you think about it, if you can get everyone off social media onto an email list and you're not paying for it, really? Like, then people have got to stop complaining. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I complain about a lot of things about it too. Come on, Meta. Like, you got to pull your finger out. You got to do better on this. There's a lot of things every social media platform needs to do better on. But then there's other things that I think, wow, we are living in a time where there has never been a better time that you can promote your business. I'm an organic marketer. That 21,000 followers that I've got on Facebook, it's not the biggest amount of following, but I've just told you how much money Meta can pay me. And I've done that for free. Like, I haven't done any Facebook advertising on there. So I am going to take every amount of opportunity to protect my accounts, and you should too. And you should do it on LinkedIn, and you should do it on every platform you're on. Sometimes things absolutely suck and it is out of your control. TikTok are the worst. I was getting paid on TikTok, and I still do to a degree, but they don't protect you as much. So, hey, Lucia, how are you, beautiful lady? So I'm not going to put as much into that because they do have a lot of really crazy restrictions on there. That's actually meant to protect the viewer, but it actually doesn't protect the person, the content person. They do a lot to protect the viewer, which is great, but it makes the person, the person who owns the account in a very vulnerable position. So you have to be very, very wise online, is what I'm saying. And I don't like the fact, I like the meta verification, and I like that LinkedIn now has a verification as well. It's unpaid, you can get it for free because of the, kids and everything. And I think, obviously they need to do more online. What annoys me about the security online, and I have to be careful what I say because I don't want this video to get flagged, is what does get away online is ridiculous, and then what does get flagged. And unfortunately, a lot of it is automated. It's not checked by humans. That's a thing that needs to be fixed. But use it to your advantage is what I'm saying. If you can pay for verification and it pushes your account out and you can afford it, pay for it because it will push your account out. Don't jump on the bandwagon of, yeah, look, maybe Zuckerberg's, whatever, whether you like him or not. It's your business, so make smart choices with it. Do the best you can with securing your account. These are my tips to secure it. I haven't spoken about YouTube here. But obviously there are nuances there with YouTube. I am on YouTube and I'm monetized on there, but YouTube is very strict. YouTube is very strict, and I think it has got it quite sorted. they do flag a lot of content. So, it is pretty good over there, but I don't know. Like, I do have a monetized channel on there. I don't push, I've got maybe, I don't know, 7,500 followers on there. I'm not overly worried about my YouTube channel at the moment. It's a channel that I'll work on soon. It's growing. It brings me traffic to my online store. I'm not really overly worried about it at the moment, but I would still apply, you know, safe practices on there. Make sure you've got an extra admin. Um, it's got to be attached to Google. You have to have two-factor authentication on YouTube. It's a must. For monetization, you can't have it without it. So it's a little bit different. I'm certainly no YouTube expert, so I'm not even going to comment on that. But yeah, it's true, Lucia. Yeah, it's just saying some of the stuff that doesn't get flagged is just a bit crazy. So, yep, they're my top tips, and I'm going to put this article out on Sunday. If you're watching this afterwards and it's the replay, you can go back through my LinkedIn account and get this article. As I said, it'll be an evergreen article, and I do highly recommend using that feature on LinkedIn for your own business because it's a really great way to get found. So, anyway, thank you guys. That is it for me for tonight. I hope that gave you some great information. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you share, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you guys next time. See you, Lucia. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you later.